Okay, class, since we skipped lesson 102, it's time to check our work from lesson 103. We started with number 2. It says the average age of 3 men is 24 years. So I know that when I'm finding an average, the average is the answer to a division problem. So they gave me the average, so I put that on the answer part. So I have 3 men, so I know that's what I'm going to divide by. So to get the sum of all their ages, I have to multiply 24 times 3. So that means their ages added all together to 72. B says, if 2 of them are 22, how old is the third? So 2 of them are 22, so I doubled that for the 2 guys and said that was 44. I took it away from the 72, and I was left with 28. So the third man had to be 28 years old. Number 6, it's a class of 33 students. So I started building my ratio table. And I said that the total of the actual count of the students was 33. And it said that the ratio of boys to girls was 4 to 7. Boys to girls, 4 to 7. That gave me a total of 11. So the question is, how many girls are in the class? So I circled my girls category. I can get rid of the boys category. So this is my proportion. 7 is to 11 as the number of girls is to 33. I see that to get from 11 to 33, I multiply by 3. Multiply by 3 here. That must mean there are 21 girls in the class. Number 7 is an order of operations problem. Hopefully you saw that we got to take care of what's inside of here, right? So 2 to the third is 8 minus 4. That gives us 4. Okay. 10 squared gives us 100. So I end up with 100 divided by 100 plus 3 times 4. I hit my division and multiplication in order from left to right. 100 divided by 100 is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 plus 12 is 13 for your final answer. Number 9, 10, and 11 is our fraction decimal percent chart. So on number 9, they give us 1/100th. And hopefully you can, if you can say it as a fraction, you can write it as a decimal. 1/100th, 0.01. And then if we have a denominator of 100, the top number is our percent, 1%. Or from here you could see, I need to multiply by 100, bump, bump, 1. On number 10, they give us 4/10. Now, to write it as a fraction, 4/10 reduces to 2/5. Now I need to make it a percent, so I multiply by 100, bump, bump, 40%. Number 11, they start out with 8%. I know that 8% means 8 over 100, which reduces to 2/25. 8/100ths, written as a decimal, is here, 8/100ths. Number 12, 10 and 1/2 divide by 3 and 1/2. First of all, I need them to look like fractions, not mixed numbers. So this becomes 21/2 divided by 7/2. Now I have fraction divided by fraction. I can change it to fraction times reciprocal. Okay, 2 over 2 will reduce to 1. 7 and 21 will reduce. This is 1, this is 3. So I have 3 times 1 over 1 times 1. 3 over 1 is 3. Number 13. 6 plus 2, 4, divide by 0.04. 6 plus 2.4 rather, is 8.4. Divide by 0.04. 8.4 divided by 0.04. I need to make this a whole number, bump, bump. So that means bump, bump. So my new division problem, 840 divided by 4. Final answer is 210. Number 14. 7 and 1/2 plus 6 and 3/4 plus something equals 15 and 3/8. Well, I went ahead and changed this 1/2 to 2/4 since this was a fourth. I needed to get these two together. So 7 and 2/4 plus 6 and 3/4 give me 13 and 5/4 plus something gives me 15 and 3/8. So if we have an addition problem and we're missing one of the add-ins, I can take the sum, subtract the other add-in to find the missing part. 15 and 3/8 minus, I changed 5/4 to 10/8. So now I have 15 and 3/8 minus 13 and 10/8. 15 and 3/8. I can't take away 10/8 from 3/8. So I changed 15 into 14 and 8/8. And then I combined it with 3/8. So I have 14 and 11/8 minus 13 and 10/8. Leaves me with a final answer of 1 and 1/8. Number 15. X minus 1 and 3/4 equals 7 and 1/2. If we have a subtraction problem and we know the difference and we know the subtrahend and we're trying to find the minuend, we're trying to find this is the biggest number, okay? I need to add these two to get what I started with, okay? So I have 1 and 3/4 plus 7 and I changed 1/2 to 2/4. So I have 8 and 5/4, which this is improper, so I fixed it. 9 and 1/4. Number 20. Now if you still need to draw a number line and go back and forth for these, that's fine. A -3, so if this is 0, then I'm going to -3, and then I'm going 8 more in the negative direction. That takes me to a -11. Okay, -3 minus a -8. Remember, we're not going to subtract. We're going to add the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to -3, and then I'm going 8 in the positive direction. That takes me to +5. -8 plus +3. I go 8 in the negative direction, and then I come back to the right 3. That takes me to -5. -8 minus a +3. We have, instead of subtracting, we're going to add. The opposite of +3 is -3. So we're going to -8 to the left in the negative direction, and then we're going to go 3 more in the negative direction. That takes me to -11. Number 21. Triangle ABC, it says, is an isosceles triangle. Nope, it doesn't say it's isosceles, but it says angles B and C are congruent. So if two angles are equal, that means the sides opposite those angles are equal too. So it has to be isosceles. It tells us angle A measures 40 degrees. Angle B and C are congruent. So I said, well, altogether they have to add up to 180. And if I take away the 40, that leaves me with 140 degrees. So then they're equal, so I divide them by 2. Each angle must be 70 degrees. Okay, last one. Number 22. We have a right triangle here, and A asks us for the perimeter. Perimeter, I just add all the sides, and you get 60 millimeters. For B, they want the area. Remember, area is base times height divided by 2, and the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. So 20 times 15 is 300, divided by 2 is 150 millimeters square. Now C was a little different. They went under the ratio of the 20 millimeter side to the longest side. The longest side is 25. 20 to 25 reduces to 4/5. And then they wanted you to also express it as a decimal. 4 divided by 5 is 0.88 tenths. Okay, so any questions on this, you need to make sure to contact me. Send me an email with a phone number so I can call you back and we can go over whatever it is that you're struggling with, okay? Hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.